Today I wanted to talk a little bit more and further about alchemy, and hopefully the ocean will not hit my feet. We did a video a couple of weeks ago talking about alchemy. This video was made for giving you some basic fundamentals to understand alchemy. By saying fundamental is for the most, and for many people that we talk about alchemy with Michel, a lot of them knows the word alchemy, but they don't understand the meaning and the false knowledge that are associated with alchemy. So for first, alchemy is definitely not made for changing or transmuting metal, right? The metals are just a chemical aspect for you to understand how the transmutation of the essence of a metal occurs during the alchemy process. Alchemy, as we explained, is the chemistry of God. When we said God, it's not, the guys with the beard over there or with the Christ. All have the parables, and alchemy is pretty interesting with parables. When you really dig into alchemy, it's been almost 8 years that I dig into alchemy. So I found several books. So you have several books that are quite interesting, dive deep into techniques of meditation, of observation. You have different guys and women on when I said guys, it's men and women, on YouTube that talk about alchemy and they said interesting things. But don't get me wrong, alchemy is not taking a book and starting to explain you how things goes. It doesn't work like that. Alchemy asks you to work on yourself, and that's why we call that the alchemy. The alchemists try to find how to make the philosopher's stone, but this philosopher's stone is made with the Greek word. So you will hear that very often when you will read esoteric books or a reference to alchemy or hermetic. When you realize the Greek work is not on the metals, it's on you. Why it's related to metals? Because metals are associated with planetary, right? And alchemy use metaphoric image and words to associate and making correspondence with first Hebrew letter or alphabet, but also with the elemental. And each planet have their own elemental, Mercury, Mars, and stuff like that, right? And they are usually associated with the Sephiroth, which is the tree of life. So if you don't know it, it looks like a freaking temple with balls and sphere and line and base. This is, it looks like beautiful temple, but technically it's representing you, the temple, the human temple. The three spheres above are the Trinity, right? So in alchemy it says that you are traveling through those spheres that correspond to a specific energy and correspond to a planet. Also correspond to a letter, an alphabet letter of Hebrew. This is for the very basic understanding on how alchemy based their research the research of the alchemy and how hermetical books and texts, especially ancient, will use as a reference Kabbalah. When you start to have a real interest on yourself and on esotericism, you automatically jump into alchemy because you will realize that alchemy is within you. When you start to be aware of this inner alchemist that is sleeping within you and try to knock the door saying, hey, let me out, you will start to have an awakening. When I said awakening, you will begin to be aware of your emotional behavior, your thought, people around you, how you behave, your energies and stuff like that. Doesn't mean that you are fully awake. You can be fully aware but not fully awake. It's two different things. So now, for many people that watch us, yeah, we increase. We are almost at 200. We have some message that some people don't really understand and quite understand alchemy. No problem. Basically, I created the channel with Michel for talking about personal development, releasing information to help you to comprehend yourself through shamanism and alchemy. So that's why we associate our experience and knowledge, when I say knowledge, through the video and through Awakening Tribes for helping you to understand how things work. And if one of you said, no, but it doesn't work for me like this, we all work the same way. Just our vision and our resistance are different, which we call ego. We all have ego. And our egos is drilled sensitively the same way. So let's back on the inner alchemy, which interests me the most and help you and will help you more than the alchemical aspect of the things with planet and stuff that technically you don't care if you don't practice alchemy or mysticism or occultism, you will be quite lost. Now, when you are sleeping, you are not aware of what's going on around. I hear one of you saying, no, if I heard some noise, I wake up. Yes, because you are probably a little bit more aware and more in fear than others, than when they sleep, they don't quite care about what's going on because they are resting. But joke apart, when you are sleeping, you are not aware of what is going on within and out of you. Due to the fact that you are sleeping, you are in the deep state of resting. And your brain waves start to shift between delta, beta, and others. When you start to get out of this sleeping state, you start to be conscious or aware of your part, the body part, some pain, oh my back, oh my God, oh I start to feel tired, I'm cold, whatever. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. That means you start to be aware of your body, what your body is telling you. Then you pass another phase that starts to awakening you. And this awakening you is when you start to really feel all the sensation of your body, what's going on outside, the bird singing and your companion right next to you. Then open your eyes. That means technically in our society that you are fully aware and conscious and awakened. Now, it's not quite true, because if you really pay attention and you are honest with yourself, we are in constant state of sleeping. we never awake. When you are awakening, first you need to pass by a phase named awareness. You need to be aware of what is within and what is surrounding, and what especially you are creating. Alchemy asks you to awaken this phase. And this phase is not fire, as many times we can find in videos, and in our last video I talk about it, saying the first phase is fire, which is in alchemical phase it is true, but inner alchemy it's absolutely wrong. Why? Because for starting to be awakened and awaken your awareness, because you have several awakening process, you will then take conscious of how you behave through your emotion. And remember, emotions are associated with the elemental of water. That's why I take the video at the ocean most of the time, because I would like you to understand how your emotion works. And for that you need to observe, you need to stop speeding and running after something that you will never get until you realize your emotional behavior. When you start to realize and aware of your emotion, you start to shift into what we call change. This change will bring you enlightenment on how your thoughts are working and playing with you. Then your ego will start having less power but more attack, because it will start to feel threatened by your inner self. Today, what I will ask you is, every morning and every night when you go to the bed or when you wake up at the bed, at the morning before starting to open your eyes, I just would like to take 3 breaths, deep inner breath and exhalation, slow but deep, and start to observe without opening your eyes, but by using your sense, your growth sense, how you will hear, when, what it's generating and producing within you, and what kind of emotion you begin your day. Just this for now. At night you do exactly the same. The only difference, you will have to pay attention what was the most powerful emotional behavior that you had during your day. When you got this, we will go further. Every week I will give you a tip that you will see it's working very well, and you will be amazed on how easy it is. Peace, guys.